What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got another quick little overview for you of a pretty cool little knife. This one's sent to me by Fred the Lug, so big shout out to Fred. He's starting a YouTube channel. Check him out. He's also got a few knives for sale in the Discord. And that link should be active. That's listed in the description. I have a few issues with the Discord link not being active quite a few times, so that should be permanently active. Hopefully, let me know in the comments if it's not. Thanks to all my Patreon subscribers, channel members. You guys are awesome. And it's thanks to people like Fred the Lug that I'm able to check out such really unique and cool knives. Hit the like button if you like my content. Maybe consider subscribing right down there. You know what I'm saying? If you want more of it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This is the Terrain 365 Otter slip flip. So, one unique thing about this one, it is a double detent knife. Right there, that detent is the lock. So you can sit there to your heart's desire and do that all day, which I think makes it pretty nifty for fidget factor, if that's what you're looking for. Also, quite a few other unique things about this one. We'll talk all about it. Let me go ahead and do my usual. Go ahead and do the rambling specs here. See if we can get through that without getting too far into the weeds. So from the tip of the blade into the handle, you're looking at 6 and I'm wanting to call that right at 6 7/8 overall length. Blade length, if you go all the way back to the handle right there, to the handle scale, measuring the blade, and the cops really got to hate your guts, you could call that 3 inches, right? Maybe, yeah, right at 3 inches. There's no other way. You can't measure it over 3 inches, I don't think, unless you're inaccurately measuring it. Cutting edge, minus that sharpening choil there, I guess you could call that right at 2 7/8. So what I'd say is kind of a medium-sized knife, I guess. Go ahead and get the calibers out here. Let's do a blade stock thickness check. Is that the official name of this? 118 thousandths thickest part of the spine, and it tapers down to 20 thousandths behind the edge, and you're looking at 425-ish thousandths on the handle thickness. Pretty respectable specs there, I would have to say, huh? Get it? Respectable specs. Alright. And at this point, why wouldn't you guys want to subscribe to the channel with jokes like that? I mean, come on, y'all. Usual suspect size comparison. You got the Cold Steel Knives 8010 and the Demco Knives 8020.5. Both are larger than that one. Alright, so kind of gives you an idea of the smallness or the mediumness, I guess, of that particular knife. You got the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1, almost said Monterey Bay. That's weird. And the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. So fairly close in overall length to the Rat 2, with a good bit more cutting edge. Good decent amount more of cutting edge than the Rat Model 2. Last of the usual suspects, there is your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And here comes the little brother, the Para 3. Alright. Do some toss up, random round here. A little bit of randomness in the house. That is your North Arm Sky High, and here goes your NAF Lander 1. 21st anniversary of opportunity NAF's Lander there. By the way, one of my geeky favorite knives, I guess. Knives misdemeanor. And your Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron 2. Wearing a fancy set of 80s camo carbon fiber scales there. A couple of really small knives just to give you an idea of the size of it. There is the Cold Steel Mini Tough Light. And your Civivi Baby Banner. Alright, so yeah, definitely bigger than the Baby Banner. But smaller than the 8010, as it were. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Oh, gotta do this one. 100% every time. Let me know if you guys enjoy this. Hit me up in the comments. But I think these are some incredible size comparisons right there. Of course, your DeWalt framing hammer and your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench right there. And thus, you are subscribed if you're not already, I'm sure, after seeing that, because every YouTube knife guy, whatever, people that get on here and ramble about knives should have that in size comparisons, right? They do them. I mean, what are you even doing if you don't have the DeWalt framing hammer in your knife size comparison? What are you doing with your life? All right, milling, none of that, they said, over at Terrain 365. Let's see, a weight on this bad boy. I don't know, I'm wanting to say 2.8. Let's see how wrong I am here. Not too wrong, 3 ounces. So right at the ounce and inch ratio that somebody made up at some point in time somewhere. Not an incredibly heavy object, I would say. How's it carry in the pocket? Let me get out my old blue jeans and I'll show you. Carries pretty good. I love that pocket clip. No issues there with the pocket clip. Pinches just the right amount. Not totally deep carry, but not really too much sticking out there either, I would say. Pocket clip works just fine. No screws showing on the pocket clip, which I think is a pretty cool thing, right? They're all internal. All that stuff's internal on that one, or the screws are anyway. All right, now let's do I forgot what to call this part. Jesus, I'm terrible at this. Why are you guys even, are you still watching? What's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. All right, T8 hardware check. That's what we call this part. Jeez. Hardware check. T8 on the body screws. Let's see what we got here. Oh, a little bit loosey-goosey there. Huh? Kind of tighten that up a little bit. T8 on the pivot. T8 on the body screws. All right. Well, I can't really tell what the pivot or what the pocket clip screw is without taking it apart. Alright, so that does it for specs. Now, the cool factor about this knife, couple cool things. It is, of course, a double detent lock, as we covered earlier, right? So if you're bearing down, if you're doing some hardcore cutting, I don't think this is the one at all. All right, because if you push down like that with your thumb, there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's a slip joint, so you'd have to treat it as such, right? Whenever you're cutting stuff, I mean, great for slicing, opening packages, as long as you don't meet any backwards resistance, I would say. I have never been the biggest fan of slip joints, but some have quite well warmed my heart lately, so this one is one of them. Really appreciate the design on this one. Double detent lock, still, that thing's not coming out whenever you super shake it there. And you do have to have a good, not like a great amount, but it's not just gonna, like, let me see. But if I, see, kind of breaks the detent there, right? But, and also, look at that. Fails the spine weight test. Garbage. Just kidding. Yeah, I would say just as long as you know what you're carrying. If you buy this knife, of course, I would think you're gonna know that it's a double detent lock, right? When you're carrying it, you know, on the assumption that it locks out somehow. Just keep that in mind. So that is both kind of a pro and a con, depending on what your taste is, I guess. But it is super, super fidgety. I mean, you can really sit there and do that all day long. Now let's get into the jimping. Look at all the jimping on it. That's pretty cool. A little bit wider of jimping. There's a lot of knife companies I think that could learn from this. I like that kind of not super sharp jimping there. That's really awesome. And right there, a little bit of texturing for your finger. If you're grabbing this in the dark or not really paying attention, but you still are feeling it a little bit while you're trying to do your cut, you can kind of tell right where the jimping ends is where you need to kind of stop putting that back pressure, right? So you put that pressure here, there you go. So keep that in mind. Another really cool thing about this, and one of the coolest things I think, this is Terravantium, which is Terrain 365's copyrighted. I guess they own the name Terravantium, but it's dendritic cobalt. So this is, let me get out. Where is? Come on, don't fight me. Oh, there we go. Nope, it's still grabbing stuff. All right, finally. That's a magnet. So, will not stick to a magnet. The blade won't stick to the magnet. All right, non-magnetic. All right. All titanium, non-magnetic. Nothing magnetic about it. The Otter, as also the case with a lot of, or a couple other of Terrain 365 designs, are non-magnetic, weather resistant with that steel that'll, or not steel, 100% rust proof because it's non-ferrous and non-magnetic, right? So that'll never rust. It is not steel. It is cobalt, which is pretty cool. I think the edge retention on that is pretty good. From what I have seen, my limited little kind of forays into studying it, I really like another model that these guys make called the Invictus. That's actually on my list of knives I would love to get. So all that being said, flipper, obviously, you know, since you've seen me flip it about 1,000 times at this point in the video, works pretty well. There you go again. Once you break that detent, you can kind of shake it shut. Doesn't really fall shut, right? But one little shake and it's shut, and it is in there. Really nice look on this one. Really clean look, I think. So overall, great knife. Oh, also, there's your little lanyard loop. If you're into lanyards, a little bit of a back spacer there too. So pretty cool little extras there. Now the price is one thing on this one, $235. Now that's pretty steep for a slip joint, I think, but also I don't know how much it costs to mill some of this stuff. I also don't know the cost comparison to heat treating, forging, pounding out dendritic cobalt. So that is another thing. I think $235, I would say, is steep for it, but then again, normally I wouldn't go for a slip at knife. So I think this is a pretty cool one if you're into getting one. If you're wanting a non-weather 100% weatherproof slip joint, this is the way to go, I would say. Absolutely. And with a little bit of fidget factor. You don't get that in the cases and you know, like the case side buster or the old timers and stuff like that. So that's another pretty cool thing. All right, I think that's it, man. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks to Fred the Lug again for sending this cool little knife along. Man, I couldn't do it without people like Fred and really Eddie, Fred, Carco, you know, Pons. The list goes on and on of people that have sent knives in to help the channel out. Much appreciated. Hope you guys like the content. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. Let me know your experience with dendritic cobalt and the edge retention. I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think about that also. So, hope you're having a good day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, whenever this video finds you. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay sharp.